Yes, another knife sharpening video, and a cat that won't shut up. An unusual knife, a knife hand forged from a railroad spike, and it needs an edge put on it. It's for a gentleman that I work with, and he went down to a knife shop down around Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and they had a forging class. And you pay X amount of money, and they teach you how to take the metal and heat it up, and beat it down to where you got a blade, and then heat it up and twist it. It was a lot of fun, but it's hot. Got a cat there that wants to go back in the house. Well, we need to start a profile here, so I think we will begin with the 220. Let's get started and see where we are here. Quit it. 21 degrees. When they got done doing all the main forging and stuff, they just took it over to a belt sander, grinder, and just put a rough edge on it. Well, I can see already this is going to be a bit of a challenge because of the slight imperfection in the way that it was pounded out. It's got some sort of high and low points there. Yeah, we got some work to do. I think I will switch over to the 120, see if we can't hog this down just a little quicker. Well, I think we're establishing a profile anyway. Still going to be a little bit of work though. Not a 10-minute job like I thought it might be. We got a cat in there that just won't shut up. Well, we're hogging off some steel. We're starting to develop a little profile, but like I said, this is such an oddly shaped blade. I don't think the profile is going to be exactly even on both sides like it needs to be. I'll show you what I'm talking about. And this was rough hammered, you know, out of a forge. Not sure if you can really tell how the profile has come along there. It really did not have a profile established. And that's what we're attempting to do here with the 120, is at least get us a decent profile established so that it'll look like a knife. I think we're getting there pretty good. We got a bit of an edge. Apex is pretty even. Not like we're hogging too much off. We need to work on this tip a little bit, mainly on this side. I think back here on this side, this looks pretty good. But back towards the hilt on this side, it's a little thin right there. I need to work on that just a bit more, so we get the tapers looking the same on both sides, so that our apex is in the middle. Chuck it back up in here again. What you doing there, bub? You sure are a noisy cat. Yeah, well, you got food, you got water, you got a litter box, you got a warm place to go sit down. What's the problem? Alright. Back to this 120. We'll work with it some more until we get a satisfactory profile, taper on both sides. Then we can start working down to the finer stuff. Yeah, it's starting to look a little bit better. A little more profile on that tip there. Banging on that utility room door trying to get in. I think we have done about all the damage we can do with that stone. Yeah, we've established an edge for sure. Like I said, I'm not real happy with the edge profile, but it is what it is. We got good taper on both sides. We got a really nice apex, and given what it is, I think that's probably about all can be expected. Hey, Black Kitty, what is the problem, bub? Really? There you go. I won't look. Man's got to have his privacy when he's using the facilities. Alright, I'm going to step up to the 400. I will say that since I started sharpening stuff, I've gotten some of the craziest things to sharpen. You know, right off the bat, we had that short machete,
machete.
Made out of a saw blade, harder than granite. And we get a knife made out of a railroad spike. I think we've accomplished what we wanted to do with the 400 grit. Yes, sir, that's coming along quite nicely, I believe. I think that's going to be right nice. Well, you definitely want to try to, more than try, you want to do a good job on something like this because the guy made it himself. Got a certain amount of pride in his work, I'm sure. Not too bad a job for a first forging, even though, you know, it was with an instructor and all. Still, you got to put in the work. You got to pound on it. A lot of effort, sweat, equity went into this thing. We'll make sure we give him a good edge. Feels good. Looks good. Must be good. Let's graduate to the 1000. See if we can get a nice polished edge on this thing. We're going to call this done. That'll cut you. Well, like I said earlier, the blade on this has a certain amount of imperfection to it, both when it was, I think the forging was probably done pretty well actually, as far as the hammering it out. Seems like the initial grind on it was a little rough and a bit haphazard, which is why we got a little bit thicker meat right here on this side as compared to that side. And then of course we have a little bit thicker meat in the curl on this side compared to this side. And that has to do with just the general imperfection in the initial grind of the blade. We did establish a pretty good, or actually a quite good apex and taper, even on both sides. And when I first got the knife, the actual cutting edge had a little bit of a it kind of drifted. Now we've got a nice, even, solid taper, nice cutting edge. Ooh, that's scary sharp. Pretty decent polish on that. If we were to strop this thing and really polish that up, I believe you could do surgery with this thing. And I also believe that, given the amount of effort it took to get that established, that should hold an edge pretty well. I'm pretty satisfied with it, and I think the customer will be too. Another finished knife made from a railroad spike. Don't see that every day. Well, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you don't like this video, well, give it a thumbs up. We thank you for watching, and please tune in again. Off.